Juan Soto doesn't have a walk-off hit with the Mets. Juan Soto in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, I can't think of him getting a hit that, wins the game or gives us the late inning lead. I can't think about that. I'm not mad at this loss, to be honest. Like, there are some losses where I'm like frustrated. This is not one of them. All jokes aside, of course, I wanted the Mets to win this game. Of course. But look, I want to talk about Juan Soto. And what do I want to talk about Juan Soto? I want to talk about Juan Soto in the clutch moments. I'm not talking about Juan Soto with nobody on. I'm not talking about Juan Soto yesterday, bases loaded, hitting a grand slam, but he hit a grand slam when it was 6-1, made it 10-1. I'm not talking about Juan Soto when the Mets are down by 5, when the Mets are down by, 10 when the game's over, or the Mets are up by a lot. No. I'm talking about Juan Soto when it's a 1, 2, 3-run game and his hit has a chance to tie the game, make the game a 1-run game, give the Mets a lead. And this is my reaction. I don't think I have... Look, the Mets got 2 hits. Got to be better than that, even though the Mariners are a good pitching team. But I want to talk about just Juan Soto in my reaction. Juan Soto, you got to be more clutch for the Mets. If the Mets are going to have any chance, you know what I'm talking about. Juan Soto since 2025 has not been clutch for the New York Mets. He has home runs. He has RBIs. He has hits. He has this. He has that. Okay. He stole 38 bases last year. Great. Please, somebody, tell me an at-bat where the Mets were down by 3. The Mets were tie game like now. The Mets were down, by 2. And it was an absolute clutch, big at-bat. And tell me what Soto did, or tell me when Soto had a clutch at-bat. I'm going to wait. And this is, please, I want to know. For example, today, you have a runner at second base, the ghost runner, nobody out. Look, you're not going to be perfect, but you struck out. What happened Friday? Same thing. He didn't strike out Friday. He popped out. MJ Melendez had to save him. Juan Soto, that's my only reaction for this game. I'm not mad at the Mets. Tough game to lose. But Juan Soto, you're hitting 299 or something. That's great. You have 13 home runs, 29 RBIs. Great. But what big clutch hit do you have for the New York Mets? And this is what us Met fans are waiting for. Because honestly, I can't think of many clutch hits for Juan Soto. I can't. Serious. I can't. I can't think. Juan Soto doesn't have a walk-off hit with the Mets. Juan Soto in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, I can't think of him getting a hit that, wins the game or gives us the late inning lead. I can't think about that. And that's how I want to finish off this live stream. Juan Soto, if the Mets are going to have... Soto is 192 with runners in scoring position this year. It's unbelievable. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. Exactly, J Studs. He doesn't have a walk-off in 2 years. It's unacceptable. One thing I learned about Juan Soto, and we saw it with the Yankees. Look at that clutch home run in game, 5 of the ALCS to send them to the World Series. He's had many big moments, but he hasn't had... Look, if somebody can tell me, please, I personally cannot think of from all the games that I've watched, a big Juan Soto clutch home run. The only time I can remember Soto being clutch was the Tigers series last season in Detroit. Look, I remember the home run. I think it was a 3-run home run that put the Mets on top. Look, that game, if I'm not mistaken, was that like in the 3rd or 4th inning? I know what game you're talking about too. I'm gonna check Mets versus Tigers 2025. Let me check. I'm gonna check that out because the Mets, they won the series. I think that was September 2nd. Did Juan Soto? Let me see here. No, they won the game. I think 10-8. Yeah, all right. Juan Soto had 6 RBIs in the game. All right. Even though the home run was early, all right, I'll give him that. But I cannot think of many clutch moments for Juan Soto. I can't think of even 3. It's gonna have to change.